Lenten Lunchtime Lesson with Father Andrew, the Society of the Divine Compassion. Saturday, after the third Sunday in Lent. God's patient faithfulness. For the Lord will not fail his people, neither will he forsake his inheritance. There's a French proverb, it is the first step that costs, and it's only partially true. That which is more true is that the real costliness of life is being true to one's faith when it has led to a way of sacrifice, being true to one's word when it means an unexpected cost, being true to one's cause when it is in peril, being true to one's friend when he is perhaps discredited, in dire straits, and in danger. The word patience, in its truest and deepest meaning, holds in itself the implication of all these claims. It will be well for us now and always to look away to Jesus. Nothing could be easier than to think of examples of those who have failed to follow their faith when the way was hard, or of promises broken, causes betrayed, friends deserted. Is there any one of us who can rightly cast a stone at others if we face frankly the secret motives of our own lives? Let us rather gaze with adoring faith upon the perfect patience of our God. He came down to the manger to show his sympathy with his poor and to fulfill the ideal of the divine love. It would have been wonderful indeed if all the beauty of it had been recognized, but when so few welcomed him, he nonetheless was completely true, if one may use that expression, to his own faith. He never lowered the standard of his faith and love, though that faith cost him all the hardness that came into his life and the final experience of Calvary. The very creed that God is love and man is God's child was terribly challenged by the way of sorrows and the failure of men, but our Lord was completely loyal to that creed when he hung upon the cross between the silence of heaven and the strident hatred of earth. All alone, he was true to his cause, and though his friends failed him, he never failed them. His faith, his word, his cause, his comradeship, all had to meet and rise above the strain of disillusionment, disappointment, and rejection. The verse which heals this meditation comes from the 94th Psalm, a prayer poem which might be a companion and comfort in many a shelter where souls are seeking the courage that comes from faith. When our Lord willed to share our experience, he allowed himself to be set in such circumstances that his only support was faith in a divine character, in the Lord who will not fail his people, neither will he forsake his inheritance. Our Christian gospel is the revelation of a life of perfect trust in God, perfect fidelity to man, and utter loyalty to love. We see that life launched at Bethlehem and wrecked at Calvary. None can sail through a more stormy voyage in their life's experience than he did, who was born as a babe in the manger and killed as a man on the cross, and yet he shines forth peerless and victorious. Our religion does more than just tell a story and show the splendor of the example. It points to a living presence, with us always, coming to us in his covenanted ways, ministering to us through the persons of his priests, and making himself one with us in the sacrament of his love. We are called to live in testing times, but we have grace sufficient through our communion with our Lord, and our lineage is that of martyrs, saints, and heroes. Our trust is in the character of the Lord, who will not fail his people nor forsake his inheritance, though they may seem to be as bereft of power as he was when he bore the scourging and the forsaking of God as he was who died on the darkness of Calvary. But for all that outward seeming of defeat, there will be granted to the chosen soul a deep interior strength which shall be manifest as victory when the tyranny is overpassed. As we let the full wonder of the gospel of the Incarnation come to us, the face of Jesus shines before us in three different aspects. First of all, in the simplicity of the babe, and our gospel is very simple gospel. Secondly, in the agony of the face crowned with thorns, and our gospel shows that love must be tried and tested and proved true by sacrifice. Thirdly, in the glory of the risen Lord, giving us that perfect assurance of the ultimate triumph of truth and love.